Hello, oh there you are. Hey, that's where I put you. Hey, this is Unit 8, Driving Emergencies. And emergencies are going to happen anytime within your lifetime as you drive. A lot of them are going to happen hardly ever. Some of them will happen just a couple times, but it's worth knowing about them before they happen. One of the first things that I want to talk to you about is a tire blowout. Now, a tire blowout is when the air pressure in your tire completely goes out and goes flat, like right away. And what's going to happen is, whichever tire blows out, your car is going to pull to that side. So just know that if your right tire blows out, your car is going to pull to the right, and so on. The best thing to do is just pull off the side of the road as fast as you can, and then you have to change your tire, of course. And in your glove compartment, you'll find a manual stating how to change your tire, step-by-step instructions. And you can also watch YouTube videos to see how to do that. So, tire blowout is the first thing. The second thing I want to talk to you about is a flooded engine. Now, a flooded engine is this. When you start your car, in order for your engine to start up, it has to have a perfect mixture of air and gasoline in the carburetor. If you have too much of one thing or the other, it's not going to start. And a flooded engine basically means that there's too much gasoline in the mix for it to start. So it gets flooded, they call it, and you smell gasoline. So the way of getting out of that is turn your car off, push your foot down on the accelerator and hold it down to the floor for a couple seconds, and hold it there as you restart the car, and start it for about 3 to 5 seconds. About that long. Okay? Wasn't that nice? So as you're starting it and holding it and keep going with your foot all the way down the floor, you're going to push all that extra gasoline out of the carburetor, and it's going to be back to a good balance again. So that's a flooded engine. The next issue that I want you to know about is when your engine stalls. And that's basically when your engine stops. Now, you're still rolling, you're still moving, but your engine cut out. And so the best thing to do for that, and by the way, your power steering is very difficult to turn in that instance. So you can't turn regular, because it's the power steering's off too. Your car is off. You're just still rolling. So as that happens, the best thing to do is to flip it into neutral, turn it on again, rev the engine a little bit, and then put it back in drive, and then go forward with that. So I've had that happen to me in intersections and stuff. So you got to think quick. Put it back, put it in neutral, rev it, turn it on and rev it, and then put it back in drive, and then go. You should be fine after that. The next part is avoiding a collision. Now, the best way to avoid a collision is to have a longer following distance. If you have 3 or 4 second following distance between you and the person ahead of you, you can react real easily and you'll avoid most collisions. If you do get close and someone stops ahead of you right away, the best thing to do is, as you hit your brakes firmly, you can actually pull to the right. When you pull to the right, you can avoid a lot of the mess. It's easier and better to hit a mailbox than it is to hit the person ahead of you. So a longer following distance, and as well as steering to the right if it's an emergency brake. Now, sometimes you are going to be in a collision. Sometimes they are unavoidable. So when you are in a collision, or if you're in a collision, the first thing to do is to stop and put your hazard flashers on. Make sure that everybody else around you sees that there's been a problem, and you have your hazards on to get their attention. The next thing is, you call the police. Now, if there's injured people, you call 911, and what they're going to do is they're going to send out a policeman, they're going to send out a fire truck, they're going to send out an ambulance, and maybe even a lunch truck. I don't know. They're going to send out a bunch of stuff. If there's injuries, that's what they're going to send out. So when you call 911, they're going to send all those people out. So what you have to do is aid the injured if you're able to, and you do that until the help arrives. If there's no injuries, you can still call 911. You can say, this is a non-medical emergency, and then they'll send the policeman out only. And when the policeman comes out, they will sift through the information, they'll fill out the forms, the paperwork, find out who's at fault, and at that point, in there somewhere, you can be exchanging information with the other person you've had a collision with, getting their license plate number, their insurance company's name, their first and last name. Don't sign any documents, don't sign anything saying it's your fault or anything. Just wait for the policeman to arrive for giving your statement, but you can exchange information with the other people, with the other person. Take pictures. Take pictures of the collision site. It's a good idea to do that because if you take pictures of your car and the damage and take pictures of their car and the damage, and they drive off and they make the damage worse, they can't come back and say you did that too because you have pictures showing that that damage wasn't there. So taking pictures of the collision incident is a good idea. Don't take pictures of the collision during the collision. That's a bad idea. And don't take pictures before the collision, because if you do, that's probably what caused it. Okay? Next is call your insurance agent and call them within the next couple days, making sure they know about it so they can get their paperwork rolling too. Off-road recovery is another thing, and I believe the last thing. One of these days, and if it hasn't happened already, your tires on the right side are going to leave the road. You're going to pull off the road on accident somehow. And so if your wheels go off the side of the road, and it can be kind of scary, it can kind of jolt you because sometimes it can be like a 6-8 inch gap between the road and the ground on the outside, and that can kind of jolt you a little bit. Okay, so when that happens, the first thing to do is take your foot off the gas, and that'll slow you down, and that'll take your panic level down as well. Once you've let off the gas a little bit, then you can take your steering wheel and turn it about 1/4 of a turn and get back onto the road. You don't want to turn it too sharply because then you'll be on the other side of the road into oncoming traffic. Okay, you don't want to do that. So once your tire leaves the road, lay off the gas a little bit. That'll slow you down. Turn the wheel a little bit, get back on the road, and start heading again. So that's off-road recovery for that. So that was Unit 8, Driving Emergencies.